Hi, everyone. I have no idea what happens to a prime minister that goes outside of his jurisdiction, ignoring our rights as Canadian citizens in Canada, ignoring literally our Charter of Rights. Our constitutional rights are being ignored. So I'm not stupid, and I'm all for peace, 100,000%. But I hope everybody knows that being peaceful is our only chance out, unfortunately, because the ideal of abusing us, the Canadians, like, and I'm not talking about USA, New Zealand, France, right, all over the place, but for a prime minister to ignore our rights and our freedom. Already freedom of speech is being attacked so much right now. And for us to be able to talk about what's going on, we have to be very creative. We have to speak in a way where the language is sort of hidden. We can't, we have to, anyways, it's suppression, right? I want you to see this video, guys. Justin Trudeau, literally telling someone in the House of Commons that they are with the swastika because they're supporting freedom and rights of Canadian citizens. We're allowed peacefully protesting. It has to be done in a peaceful way. If not, we would not be abiding by the law. Justin Trudeau said that there were swastikas present in Ottawa, and there were not. There was one sticker on the car, and either an Antifa, or I shouldn't even be mentioning the names because I have no proof of that, okay? But it was not a trucker. So we have implanted people, right? Pat King, right? Some of these people in charge of the convoys that started these things and that are in charge, leaders, have spoken out even today, February 16th, at the Parliament, on Parliament Hill. Police gathered there, and so did the media at the same time. The media have not been present in Ottawa. When the media go there, it's because, like Pat King mentioned, and I think a lot of people understood that, it's a setup, right? So the ones that are there protesting that can go to Ottawa, do so, but do so peacefully. And if you're not peaceful, the truckers are going to warn you. They're not only truckers at that convoy. And as for the displacement of the vehicles, the trucks, in the past 2 days, they went to Wellington Street. So like Pat King says, they're snaking them in, or I don't know what the term he used, they're, pressing them all together. Not hard to know why they're doing that. They want us all in the same circle, right? Oh, them, actually, the truckers. I consider myself a part of what's going on with everyone. I've been very emotional. I've had many tears, especially the past 2 months with what has been going on. It's a beautiful thing seeing people rising up, seeing people of the First Nations people, different tribes of Indians and different cultures there beating their drums and showing us some love and bringing also a message. It was a beautiful thing. I remember the date when the First Nations were there, people. And if I'm not using the proper term, it doesn't matter. Unfortunately, people have not spoken enough of the First Nations people and about the Indigenous people and everything that's going on in Canada. A lot of people, when things happen, we have a tendency of brushing things off and maybe ignoring things that occur because it hurts us and we don't want to be a part of a certain evil, so we push things away. But the awakening that everybody has had in Canada, a lot of people in Canada are awake now more than ever before. It's really a beautiful thing, an awakening, but it really isn't, because an awakening is something very it's terrifying because it's a reality. When you wake up and you see how everything's run and other things like still today people don't understand what Bill Gates is doing, the depopulation or whatever. These things remain myths. They remain hidden. not everyone is, a true seeker. Not everyone has time to do so. Guys, long story short, it's a very emotional time for people around the world right now. For me right now, also in Canada, because I see the Charter of Rights being literally overlooked on, being called Nazis by our own Prime Minister. Please take a look at this moments before. The reaction of Justin Trudeau after having told someone in House of Commons that they were supporting the swastika. Okay? I think I'll stop there. Listen to what Justin Trudeau said. And take a good look at the people in the House of Commons and see the end is coming near. You can tell by the way they're talking to him. Justin Trudeau, please resign or end all mandates because the protests will continue.
Parkland.
Mr. Speaker, I've never seen such shameful and dishonorable remarks coming from this Prime Minister. My great-grandfather flew over 30 missions over Nazi Germany. My great-great-uncle's body lies at the bottom of the English Channel. There are members of this Conservative caucus who are the descendants of victims of the Holocaust. For the Prime Minister to accuse any colleague in this House of standing with the swastika is shameful. I'm giving the Prime Minister an opportunity. I'm calling on him to unreservedly apologize for this shameful remark.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, Canadians deserve their freedoms back. Mr. Speaker, these illegal blockades that have continued to interfere with people's livelihoods, to interfere with people's daily lives,
have to interrupt the Honourable Prime Minister, so ask everyone to calm down so we can hear the answer. The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the measures put forward in this Emergencies Act are proportional, are responsible, and quite frankly, are completely folded within the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. The steps that we are taking are important and measured to restore order and freedoms to Canadians in this country. That is exactly what we are doing.
Well, member of First Sturgeon River, Parkland.
Mr. Speaker, the lack of an apology from that Prime Minister speaks volumes. I have given this Prime Minister an opportunity to retract a shameful remark where he would accuse any honorable member of this House to stand with a swastika. As I said before, we have colleagues who are the descendants of victims of the Holocaust. I'm giving the Prime Minister one more chance. Will he apologize to all members of this House?
That's the Right Honourable Prime Minister.
The members of the Conservative Party are calling to us to take more action over the past 2 weeks on this. They continued to stand with and encourage these illegal blockades. Mr. Speaker, Canadians are watching carefully and see exactly where the Conservative politicians who've stood with those blockades are standing. We will stand on the side of Canadians who deserve their lives back, who deserve their livelihoods back.
Member for Sturgeon River, Parkland.
My apologies, Mr. Speaker. I didn't write these out. But the fact is, I don't know how any member of the government caucus can stand by this Prime Minister when he accuses honorable members of this House of standing with a swastika. I'm calling on all members of the Liberal caucus to denounce the Prime Minister. I have given him 2 chances to apologize. He has refused to apologize. Mr. Prime Minister, apologize.
Once again, I want to remind the honourable members, I know this is getting emotional, but place your questions through the Speaker, not directly to each other. The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. These illegal blockades have been going on in Ottawa for 20 days now. People have been interrupted in their daily lives, have been made to feel fearful, have been made to miss shifts at their work across southern Ontario. These are things that cannot be stood for, which is why we're moving forward with a responsible set of measures to allow the local police jurisdiction to do their jobs. We continue to defend freedom of expression, freedom of assembly, as long as it's peaceful and legal, Mr. Speaker.